On to Volume 3. So, putting one foot in front of the other, you continue on through this strange alien world. Just when you think stuff is beginning to make sense, it all slips through your fingers and becomes even stranger and more alien. There does, however, seem to be one thing that remains constant through all planets and walks of life. That thing is friendship. You are on the prowl for more. It would have perhaps been wise to stay with one of your wonderful new friends until you are fully healed. But as Martha Stewart said, visitors, like fish, begin to smell after 3 days. You are almost positive Martha Stewart said that. Nevertheless, you soldier on in your endless quest for companionship. Where will your travels take you next? Woo! Okay, so I I haven't noticed that before. Did it do that with the others where it like added the color to them? Like gray skin, jade skin, gray skin, orange skin. That's really neat. All right. I know a little bit about Branya, but not much. I know next to nothing about Skylla, so let's go ahead and do hers. Skylla Koriga. As dawn approaches, you find yourself heading out of the big city and into the rustic outskirts. It's really pretty. This is actually a really gorgeous landscape. I love the colors. Man, the sun sure is bright on this planet. It's rising over the crest of the distant hills, a huge fiery ball. The later it gets, the bigger and bigger it grows, way bigger than you've ever seen the sun on Earth. What's that smell? Could it be your flesh beginning to sizzle? Fantastic! You love the country. No wonder the nightlife seems so active on Alternia. They're all nocturnal to avoid brutal daily roasting. You reach into your pocket for your cool new shades, but you appear to have left them at your friend's house. Frick. You gotta get yourself together. The recent physical trauma and extensive blood loss has you a little fuzzy. You weren't built for this wilderness survival shit. You're starting to wish you'd just stolen a fucking Lamborghini or something instead of a spaceship. This seriously isn't looking good. The city is too far away now for you to turn back, so you have no choice but to keep walking. Maybe you can find a cave or a hole in the ground. Maybe you can just cover yourself with grass. You wish that someone had mentioned the Death Sun in between offering you alien meat products and calling you their muse. Off to your left in the distance, you catch sight of what might be the shimmer of sunlight on glass. A window? A solar panel? You could seriously clean up with renewable energy on this planet. Should you change your trajectory and go toward the shimmer? It might just be a mirage. Mirage or not, let's do it. Go toward the shimmer. You turn your aching, stinging meat sack towards the distant, promising sparkle of safety and succor. You focus on just staying upright, one step at a time. You just keep swimming, or whatever. God, this sun, though. You need SPF 5 million for this nonsense. Mood. But then, almost like it has picked itself up to come scuttling to meet you, you suddenly find yourself in front of a long, low structure. You let out a yelp of anguish, pounding on the door. At least you hope it's the door. What in the world? The door opens and you fall inside with one of the most pathetic whimpers of your career. Blessed darkness closes in on you. From right beside you comes a snuffling yip, like some joker is making fun of your dire situation. Something warm and wet glides up your stinging cheek. Hold on, lady. Give him some room. A pair of hands help you sit up, gently. Your eyes haven't adjusted enough to make out more than a couple shapes, one upright and one lower to the ground. What were you doing out there? Can you stand? Strong arms pull you to your feet. You wonder if everyone on this planet is strong or if you are just extremely flimsy. They guide you to a chair at the end of a long table. Stutteringly, you begin to explain yourself, that you are an injured, exhausted traveler who is ravenous for pals. Well, bless your heart. But hold on a tick. Dinner's about to burn. Now that your rescuer mentions it, you do smell something. It smells amazing. Also, just look at the artwork here for Skylla. She's so pretty. I love the eyeshadow. Funny you should just blunder in here like that. I was just saying, wasn't I, lady? It's been so long since we had any sort of guests who weren't Imperial drones or out to rob us. You rub at your watering, slowly clearing eyes, and when you look back up, your rescuer finally comes into focus. She's tall, taller than anyone else you've met here, you think. Also, maybe a little older? Not that you're an expert in troll physiology. She just has an air of knowledgeable competence. She's wearing a fringed jacket and holding up a plate. Also, look at her logo here, or her symbol. It looks like she's flipping people off with those horns. There you go. Your oculars feeling any better? By the way, my name's Skylla. Pleasure to meet you. And this here's Lady. Oh, who's a good girl? Who's a good ghost-like headlight eyes girl? She looks down, and at first you think she means the table, but then you look under the table at the giant monster dog looking up at you. You jolt so hard you almost fly backwards out of your goddamn chair. Whoa there, no need for theatrics. It looks a little like one of those lassie dogs with the pointed noses. Collie. It's a collie. Except enormous and pure white, it barks practically shake the whole house. Hey there, lady. No need to be rude. They've clearly had one hell of a time and they don't look dangerous. Just really peculiar. Besides, if they try anything, you and me can take 'em. I'm sure you can. You two could both probably beat me the hell up and kill me in like 3 seconds. Skylla puts her hands on her hips, staring you down with thunderous yellow eyes. Right? No funny business, you hear? You swallow and nod, trying to look unthreatening and obliging. Ready for anything. For instance, friendship. You are so ready for that. Skylla sets down the plate she's holding. Ooh, I just noticed something in the background here with the outlet on the counter. It's an interesting, like, Y-shaped outlet instead of like the usual. That's a neat detail. I like that they included that. Actually, this whole background is really cool. Like up here with the rafters, with how that cord just wraps around the rafter and then hangs. It's really neat. Skylla sets down the plate she's holding. Here, have a grub cake. There's plenty. That sounds gross as hell, but what's sitting on the plate looks and smells exactly like a normal pancake. Golden brown and crispy at the edges. There's boiled tree blood too, if you like. Tree blood. I love it. Also churned to dairy product. She puts down a carafe of syrup and a dish of butter. Man, everything here has really weird names. Skylla pours out a cup of some very familiar smelling liquid. Brown bean juice, you guess. Skylla raises an eyebrow. No, that's just coffee. She sits down next to you. You're lucky you were only out in the light at dawn. Nobody wants to be out in direct Alternian sunlight besides jade bloods. And no offense, but you certainly ain't any jade blood I've ever seen. At first I thought you were some sort of mutated Lucis, 'cause you don't have horns and you were grunting and yipping up a storm back there. But you're an alien, right? Don't worry, I won't call the drones. I'd best get used to being around aliens anyway, seeing as how I'm going to be seeing a whole mess of y'all come next sweep. She laughs nervously. You aren't sure what she's talking about. Do you even need to specify that anymore? It's just natural law at this point. Gravity, the conservation of energy, and you don't know what the fuck is going on. Lady, would you mind drawing a bath for our guest? No offense, but you smell like you could use one. You can't argue with that. You offer her a cautious smile. God, she seems so nice and caring. But you've been burned before. And cut. And generally kicked around by fate. It's a tough world out there. But you want to trust Skylla. I really do. Lady takes a bucket in her muzzle and runs out into the yard, getting up on her hind legs and batting its door latch to open it. It's adorable. The sun is high enough now that the whole landscape outside is washed in white. Oh God, the dog. Oh, it's sweet of you to worry. Luci are fine going outside for a little while in the daylight. Their coats reflect light or something to that effect. I don't really know how it works. I ain't exactly known for my scientific acumen. You tell her that she seems pretty smart from where you're standing. As cynical as you're becoming, you just can't help trying to be her friend. She's so nice and, wow, really pretty. Right? She really is. I love her. Not that that's a requirement for friendship, but your retinas would have to be way more scalded than they are to not notice that. That's nice of you to say, but it wouldn't even really matter if I was a bona fide genius. Someone of my caste could never hope to rise up in the ranks. Best I can hope for is hauling crates on some cargo vessel. Ranks? Cargo vessel? You swallow your bite of grub cake, ready to ask her if she's thinking about joining the military, but just then a swell of noise erupts from outside the house. Shouts, crashes, and Lady's frantic barks. Skylla gasps and launches herself out of her chair, knocking over the carafe of syrup. It oozes across the tabletop in a sticky wave. Oh no, not now. Okay, I really love that pose. Super Skylla to the rescue. What the hell is going on? Bandits! Goddamn Lucis thieves. You don't get the chance to ask anything else before Skylla careens toward the door, throwing up an arm as blazing white light pours in. Oh god, she's going to go outside and burn up. She isn't thinking straight. You've got to do something. I'm going to help her. What the hell? You've already experienced the Alternian sun. It sucked a whole lot. Maybe now will suck less because of how bad it sucked then. Just a sliding scale of suckage. Skylla plunges out into the daylight in the direction of the commotion, and like a big dumb asshole, you barrel out into the blazing hellscape after her. Surprise! It still sucks. You've had sunburns before, but this is ridiculous. This is a fucking monster of a gas giant pointing and laughing at the tiny speck of humanity you represent, trembling before the void. It's a pure assault on all your senses. The light is almost as bad as the heat, and you put up your arms to block the glare, following the dust Skylla kicks up behind her. You doubt your eyes will actually ever adjust to this fuckery, but you can see a little better than before. There are about a dozen of them, all of them trolls, all wearing dark padded outfits that cover their faces. They look halfway between hazmat suits and SWAT uniforms. All of them have big, fake-looking guns that probably aren't fake. In fact, one of them shoots a laser at your face. You duck and it leaves a blazing heat trail across your cheek. Well, shit. But as all of you is currently burning, it doesn't really break your stride. Skylla throws herself into the fray, letting out a war cry accompanied by the sound of a fist hitting flesh. You go, Skylla. I believe in you. Get your Lucis back. It's 12 against 2, which, if you remember your fractions right, is not unlike 6 against 1. But these guys had probably not been expecting a frontal assault, and they had definitely not been expecting a Skylla, who is frankly fucking terrifying. She shoves 3 trolls down like dominoes, grabbing up a discarded gun and shooting all 3 while they're on the ground. Brutal. You have never been in a fight before, a fucking all-out brawl. It's scary. But now that you're in the thick of it, also kind of awesome? Sure, your skin is burning and you could be killed at any moment, but that's just how it goes on this planet. You just gotta get into the swing of things, take no prisoners, kill or be killed. Hell yeah. Look how happy she is. Aw man, Skylla's awesome. You pop one of the bandit trolls in the face. Fuck, that probably hurt your fist more than it hurt the troll, but it does throw them off balance for long enough for Skylla to smash the butt of her gun into the side of their head. Yeehaw! Hell yeah! She gives you a wild grin. The two of you are beaming at each other while a hostile alien sun tries to boil away the liquid from your eyeballs, and a bunch of bandits try to dog-nap a giant monster. You love this girl. In a friendship way. But still, you love her. You make an awesome team. Another troll comes up behind Skylla and she smashes an elbow into their throat, grabbing them by the front of their uniform and suplexing them onto the dusty ground. She wails on them with her bare hands. God, she's really hot. Get lady! Oh, right. You stumble over to where the Lucis is thrashing inside a big black net. You don't have any way to cut her free, but she's already doing great on her own, biting through the fibers with her big sharp teeth. You hold the net still for her to finish the job, then pull it off of her so she can join the fray. It's over fast after that. How did they even get Lady into the net in the first place? She's so giant and quick, grabbing trolls in her jaws and shaking them like chew toys. The remaining 5 who are still standing jump onto their weird little dune buggies and make tracks. Emphasis on the bug. They look like scuttling little beetles. Skylla chases after them for a few hundred yards, throwing the gun after them and shouting obscenities. And stay away, you hear? Tell the rest of them why you don't ever fuck with the Rusty's ranch. She stands silhouetted against the blazing sun, the dust trails vanishing into the distance. You are awash in heady victory, giggling like a lunatic, before the adrenaline kinda drains out of you all at once. You are violently reminded of your fucked up ribs and recent blood loss. Well, crap. The Alternian sun beats down, and your arms are already covered in raised patches of red skin. This is a sunburn turned up to 11. Whoa there, are you okay? No, I am not okay. Skylla is swaying too. A spray of olive green blood covers her cheek. At least the rainbow blood on this planet means you can be sure it isn't hers. But she still looks rough, kind of like how you feel. Lady, come here, girl. Wow, you're gonna sit down. Maybe just take a little break. The pale landscape swoops, going even paler. No, you can't rest here. You'll die, dumbass. I'm not letting anything happen to my new best friend. I got a best friend! Guys, I got a best friend! Yay! Skylla and Lady. My new best friends. I love them. Get up. New best friend? Holy shit, that makes you so happy. You absolutely can't die here, not when you've just made such an amazing friend. Somehow the two of you manage to drag each other across the yard and toward the house. Hive, you're going to get this lingo down if it kills you. Whenever you feel yourself about to fall forward, you lean on Skylla. When you start to fall back, Lady is there to brace herself against the back of your knees. She's such a good Lucis. You wonder if she'll be your friend, too. Her muzzle is dripping with a soup of multicolored alien blood. When you get back into the darkness of the hive, you can't see shit. Dang, your species really ain't suited for this kind of environment, huh? Nope. You can't even see in the dark. In demonstration, you walk right into the table. You've about had it with tables. You are sworn enemies at this point. Please don't knock down my nutrition platform. I built it myself. She sounds exhausted but giddy. Dang, you really did that thing, didn't you? You kind of want to go in for the hug, but that sunburn is really something. It feels like tiny needles piercing your arms and cheeks. The back of your neck is a colony of fire ants. Oh yeah, feels real bad, don't it? Come on, there's only one cure for sun rash. Skylla takes your hand. Gosh, this is next level friendship stuff. She leads you through her hive, and who knows if you are ever going to get all of your vision back. Maybe you are just blind for life. You'll have to get a cane and a whimsical aesthetic and learn to navigate the world by smell alone. Heck yeah for Terezi. No, that would be stupid. Here we go. My coop isn't huge, but you're kinda scrawny. What are you waiting for? Take your clothes off. Man, the sun must have fucked with more than just your eyes, because you could have sworn Skylla just told you to take your clothes off. You are seriously not getting into my Recuper-kun in those filthy rags. I'm not even sure what those clothes were supposed to be originally. Yeah, you weren't so sure about your look either. Another new friend of yours told you it was rad, but you were both a little high at the time. You might be a little high right now. You wonder if sunstroke causes auditory hallucinations. Also, you don't know what a Recupera-kun is. Hmm? Really? Then what the heck do you sleep on in your planet? You hear rustling, followed by the sound of clothes hitting the floor, and then a weird gloop gloop, like someone getting into a bathtub, only thicker. If a troll didn't have soaper, well, I don't really know what would happen, but I reckon it wouldn't be great. It can speed the healing process for burns and small wounds. I'm not sure what it's going to do to your weird alien anatomy, but I don't see as how it's going to make it any worse. You tell Skylla that in your experience, things can always get worse, especially from her perspective right now, since she's about to see you naked. Nothing like a little self-depreciating humor as an A-plus cover-up for crippling insecurity. Mood. Skylla laughs. Come on now. I'm sure you're a perfectly healthy example of your species. Just get in already. I promise this isn't any sort of pale solicitation. Or flushed, for that matter. I know it's awkward, but I only got the one coop. Right. Okay. Yeah, you can totally do this. You can make this not weird. Of course, you trip taking off your goddamn pants and Skylla starts laughing all over again. Not in a mean way. More in a chill, please join me in my slime bathtub old chum way. In a non-awkward way. In a friend way. Aww. Okay, that's adorable. I love this. This was the best ending. Okay, now let's go back and make an enemy of our friend by not helping her get her Lucis back. Alright, stop her. Skylla is bigger than you, and she has the strength of both desperation and a superior genome, so you don't feel great about your chances. But you have to try. Skylla is too upset to be careful. You have to stop her from hurting herself. You stumbled into her house all gross and pathetic and alien, and she didn't turn you away. She gave you pancakes, for Christ's sake. Grub cakes. Whatever. And it isn't just the sun. From the number of voices, there's got to be 20 people out there. She doesn't stand a chance. You run up behind her and hook your arms under hers, hauling her back by the armpits. She struggles, jabbing her elbow into your aching ribs. Let me go. You don't understand. They'll take her. Lady! You hold grimly on, going limp and using gravity and your own dead weight to pull her down to the floor. Through wheezing breaths, you tell her she can't go out there. Didn't she just tell you that you'd never have survived if it had been later that dawn? You probably aren't making much sense, but you keep up a stream of worthless bullshit until something catches. Would your Lucis really want this for you, Skylla? Would Lady really want you to sacrifice yourself for her? Skylla goes rigid, and then all the fight just drains out of her like blood down a drain. She sags back into your arms. The two of you watch Lady thrashing in a huge black net as several of the figures holler away. The sun is too bright to see them clearly, but they appear to be herding more white creatures out of a paddock and into a collection of vehicles. The herd. She says it so quietly you feel it more than hear it. You continue to watch as Lady is packed into one of the vehicles and they drive away, kicking up clouds of dust that glimmer in the brutal sun. You can let me go now. I'm not going to throw myself out in the daylight like a romance novel heroine. You realize just how tight you're holding onto her and loosen your arms, pulling away and sitting up. Skyla's cheeks are wet with tears, but she quickly shakes her hair into her face to hide it. That makes your heart hurt. You want to tell her that everything is going to be okay, but you make it a point not to lie to your friends. You have absolutely no idea how it's going to be. And before you can say anything at all, she gets up and disappears through a door and further into the house. Yeah, we'll give her some space. You decide to mind your own business. Well, you do try the door, but it's locked. Best to keep occupied and do what you can for her. First, you shut the door to keep that sweltering heat and blinding light out. Then you tidy up the kitchen a little. Everything here is oddly textured and colored, the shapes unusually organic. Some of it is worryingly scuttly and alive. You do your best. You mop up the syrup and straighten the chairs. You're just trying to figure out how to get the sink to spit out some water onto the dirty dishes when Skylla comes back out. Her eyes are dry and her hair is combed back out of her face. Don't you worry about that. You're going to break something. She plays with one of her beaded bracelets with nervous little fidgets of her fingers. I could never have taken those fellas by myself, especially not in broad daylight. I want to thank you for stepping in and stopping me. I was overwrought. And the sad thing is, we did take them on. Oh, this is horrible. You nod, accepting her thanks. She doesn't seem overwrought anymore, just numb. Wow, this is actually a legitimately terrible situation. Not even in a dumb, zany way like all the other horseshit that has happened to you recently. You wonder who those guys even were. Lucis thieves. They've come before, but always at night and never in such large numbers. So Lady and me could always take 'em. Oh no! I didn't see that before. Look in the background with the pictures in the living room. There's a portrait of her and her Lucis. Oh no. This is so sad. I never expected anything like this, for them to come out in force like this in the middle of the day. She sits down at the table, putting her elbow in a patch of syrup you missed. You offer her the dishcloth and notice several little discolored patches on her arm. It looks like she got burned just from having her arm out the door for like a minute and a half. You're really glad you didn't let her go out there. You've endured a lot of heinous shit on your short span of this planet, injuries and lots of added insults to those injuries. But the time you spend with Skylla waiting for the sun to go down is some of the worst and most hopeless. You don't know what to say to help her. You aren't actually her friend. You aren't even the same species. The troll-Lucis relationship is a little confusing, but they seem to be some combination of caretaker and pet, more symbiotic than parent and child. Finally, it gets late enough to venture outside, and you follow Skylla out to the empty paddock. There's nothing out here but a broken fence and trampled ground. Lots of kids lose their Luci. It's just a part of life. I would have been heading into the ordeal's next sweep anyway. I would never have seen her again. But at least I would have gotten the chance to say goodbye, you know? It's kind of a bummer how resigned everyone on this planet seems to terrible things happening. Then again, you guess that's sort of true on your planet too. Existence. Just a goddamn mess. You try to give her the most understanding look you can. Just a really good and supportive friend face. You're killing it. But Skylla isn't paying attention to your glowing facade. She's reaching into her jacket and pulling out her phone. What the hell? My palm husk is blowing up. Oh god. Skylla drops her phone in the dirt and claps a hand over her mouth. Her eyes sparkle with tears. You pick it up. It's kind of squishy and squirms in your hand a little, which you don't love. You also don't love what's on the screen. It's a troll in a mask, holding a gun on Lady, who is still in that net, baring her teeth. The gun looks fake, kind of like a Nerf gun. You bet it's not a Nerf gun. The photo is accompanied by more of that spiky text you can't read. Hey, how can you understand the Alternian spoken language but not the written? You decide not to think about it too hard. Waste of time. They sent a ransom demand. They say that if I can't pay, they'll sell her. Troll Luci are valued for their strength all over the galaxy. The heiress knows about the black market, but she doesn't do anything about it. She just takes a cut. You ask her how much the ransom demand is for, as if you have a penny to your name. She tells you a number that sounds stupidly large, even without knowing the exchange rate to Earth money. They're just mocking me. They know a Bronzeblood can't afford this. They just want to force me to fail her one more time. Her voice breaks on a sob. You reach over and put your hand on her arm. She looks at you with big, watery eyes, and you brace for her to fall into your arms sobbing. You're actually kind of hoping for it. Not that you're the type to want to profit off another's pain, but you're pretty sure that offering comfort in a time of crisis is a first-class ticket to Friendsville. Instead, Skylla gives you a hard shove backward. You take 2 stumbling steps and fall on your ass, something squishing underneath you. A cow pat, or something alive? You aren't sure which you'd prefer, honestly. Sorry, I didn't actually push you that hard. Your species just seems pretty flimsy. I don't want sympathy right now, especially not from you. She stands framed between the 2 moons, some trick of perspective making her look just as distant, and just as sad. Not that moons are inherently sad. Whatever, that's not the issue right now. Had Skylla been lying to you before when she said she doesn't blame you, she'd even thanked you for stopping her from killing herself. Nah, I don't blame you. I just can't stand the sight of you. Looking at you just reminds me of losing Lady, and I don't think that'll ever change. Sorry. I really was hoping we could be friends. It's been a really long time since I've seen anybody out here that goes on 2 legs instead of 4. But I just don't think it's going to work out. If you start walking now, you can probably make it to the city before sunrise. Or there's a jade blood colony nearby if you want to inflict your personal brand of assistance on them. Bye. You leave with your proverbial tail between your legs, and the last glimpse you get of Skylla, she's standing next to the empty paddock, staring at the ground. Well, frick. I don't like that ending at all. Okay. Time to do the last one. Okay. Instead of going towards her, let's assume it's a mirage and not do it. Ooh. Honestly, you could probably see this one coming. Game over. Alright, so that's it for Skylla. And then next up, we'll do Branya. Keep an eye out for the next video. Bye, guys.